Here we go. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
We have today with us LaToya Bradley. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And LaToya has a wonderful coffee bar right here in Louisville, Kentucky called Brew and Sip Coffee Bar. And if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and about the business to start off, that would be awesome.
Brew and Sip is a pivot from our catering company we actually own as well. And so we pivoted during the pandemic, October of last year, to open up Brew and Sip because the community needed a coffee bar. So we opened up in the front half of our catering company. We had about 400 square feet in the front half that we made a coffee bar and a seating area. And then in April of 2021, we expanded to the space next door. And we ended up with another 1,700 square feet that is open and actually lovely. So we are enjoying this right now.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Sounds like a great community business that you've built. When did you start your business and what year?
We actually opened a coffee shop in the middle of the pandemic, so 2019. And then we opened in 2020. I'm sorry, we opened in October 2020. Was it 20? It wasn't 20? My husband's correcting me.
All right. Well, what geographic area do you serve?
Yeah, October 2020. Sorry.
That's all right. October 2020. All right. So you're fairly new business.
Still a new business. Still enjoying the new things, having a few bumps in the road. Since we were born during COVID, we don't get all the benefits of businesses that were operating before COVID. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I get upset because we get left behind on COVID funds or anything like that. But I'm just like, oh, okay, we can deal with that and we can keep it moving. Yeah, exactly. And that's really how it has become.
It will just make you stronger, right?
Exactly. At the end of the day, for sure.
Wonderful. And what geographic areas do you serve?
We serve all of Louisville. We are actually in the Butyl Center, but we serve all of Louisville. We have people that come as far as Mount Washington. We have people come from the West End. So I say 18 to 65. I just did a Facebook ad last night and I had to do that. And I was like, what do we really serve? 18 to 65. We have a lot of teachers that come through our drive-through because we're in the middle of a school hub. Uh-huh. But all day long, we have a different person come through the door, which is awesome and amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like you're very passionate about what you do.
I am.
And how many employees do you have?
I have one part-time in-house employee, me and my husband, and then we have a full-time admin, and we have two part-timers.
All right.
Two part-timers and a full-time admin.
And are you looking to expand?
Yes, we are looking to expand. We wanted to do 3 stores in 3 years, and COVID is not letting us be great right now, but we're going to keep pushing until we get where we need to be.
That's the spirit. I love the entrepreneurial spirit in you. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I know you've only been open for a short period of time, but if you had to start over from day one, what would you do differently?
Oh, wow. I would have got the drive-through before I got the regular storefront.
Okay. All right. And tell me why that is.
Because the drive-through actually brings us more business than our storefront alone did, because people don't have to get out of their car. We are very... as a society, I'm not going to say we're lazy. We like comfort, is what I'm going
to look, good choice of words. I agree with you. I think we are in a comfort society, and it makes sense, especially when you have, other chains that have, that are national and international, and they have drive-throughs and they're doing successfully. I think that it also raises the bar, don't you think?
Yes, it does.
Now, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges along your entrepreneurial journey, and what lessons did you learn from them?
Wow, we did a lot of our work on our build out ourselves, so that has been a huge lesson. Waiting on people. I am not a very patient person, so me waiting on people is, that's a thoughtful moment in itself. I've learned to be a little bit more patient, but I like to have stuff done. So I'm like, I can do that. And I'll just do it. So we did a lot of our own build out. And then, and follow through. I would love for people to follow through a little bit better. I think as business owners, we have so much on our plate, even when we're asking people, hey, we need this printed, or we need yard signs, or this, and that. And I know I try to work with a lot of small businesses because I understand the small business life.
Right.
I think we're all getting a little overwhelmed and don't understand that you got to have somebody there to help you along the way.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And do you own the business 100%, or do you have partners as well?
I own the business 100%. Everybody thought I was crazy when I first did that, but it was all about a woman going into coffee for me when I first started this.
Good for you. Good for you. I love that. I love that. And what made you start this business?
Well, before I moved to Louisville, I had a coffee shop in Northern Indiana in a library. I had won a bid. We did an RFP, and I was in the library for about 19 months while they rebuilt the new library. And it was amazing because I had a built-in audience. And so I knew coffee. And having a business during the pandemic, we had just signed our lease on our catering space, January of 20. And so I was like, we can't just not pay our rent. I mean, nobody's going to have that, right?
Right.
So we had to figure out what we were going to do, and we had to figure it out quick because we lost all our caterings. I mean, everything was closed down.
Wow.
And we had to figure it out and move forward.
Yeah, I can imagine that's not easy.
Yeah, so that really has worked out though in our favor, opening up a coffee shop, because we have a very open one. I'm educating people on product, what coffee is, what the different kinds of coffee are,
Okay.
what you drink and what you don't drink. A lot of people don't even know what an espresso is. They'll come in and they'll order an espresso with a cappuccino, not realizing what they're ordering.
Yeah, absolutely. And can I ask, what sets you apart from like those, franchises like Starbucks?
I'm going to say customer service. Between customer service and education, those two things to me, because when I go into, I call them Bucks and Brothers, you just are ordering something. I want some coffee. I don't know what I want. Then you get something and it's bitter or it's too strong. And you're like, man, I need to add a ton of sugar to this because you didn't really know what you were ordering at the beginning. So we make sure we educate people when people come in. My prices are very reasonable so that people, I call it the everyday coffee because you can continually come back. We have people that come in every day because I would rather you be able to come back and see me than have to have it be a treat.
Absolutely. It sounds like you're very hands-on, and it's very much like a family and personable kind of business that you're running.
Yes, sir.
And have you always had this spirit of entrepreneurship?
Yes. Yes. My first coffee shop I opened, I was 23. And I wondered how I was going to go back to work for someone, and I did for a little while. No hard feelings to corporations. I have an HR background. I'm also a trained chef.
Okay.
But when it was time to figure out what we're going to pivot our business to and not be open, it was you got to pivot, and you got to pivot fast, and you got to figure out what you're going to do with it. Okay.
All right. Absolutely. And quick question: if you were a young entrepreneur and someone was just starting out, let's say, and wanted to open a business, what advice would you give him or her?
Do it afraid is always my saying. When I first got to Louisville, so many people told me no because there were so many cafes here. I am a transplant. And I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I was like, why is everybody telling me no? Now that I have it, those people that told me no, I just look at them, I'm like, you told me no, remember? And I still tell people, do it regardless. I mean, we bootstrapped our both our spaces, actually, not just the coffee shop, but the catering company and the coffee shop. And those have been the lessons that I appreciate, because nobody can tell me, you're paying for this. Nope. And I would love to we are looking at investors now, but only because of where we're at in the business, and we want to be able to expand in the next year.
Excellent. That's exciting. How would you say the internet has played a role in your business as more and more people jump online and seek out information and products and services online?
Wow, the internet has really affected us because we do sell our beans, whole and ground. We're looking at doing some more business to business sales. So the internet has really been good to us because they don't have a problem. They don't have a problem utilizing it. So we get a lot of referrals from the internet. Our Google presence is big. Instagram is growing. I absolutely adore the fact that our Instagram is growing the way it is.
All right, great. And what is the one thing, let's say, you'd like to accomplish in your business overall that would have you saying emphatically, yes, I did it. I actually did it. What would that be?
Make it to that 5-year mark, because everybody wants to say it's the first 5 years. I'm like, making it to that 5-year mark and having my 3 stores would be amazing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you say you have a background in HR. What were you doing in HR?
I was an HR manager when I graduated in 2008 in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Okay. I moved here right after I graduated to work for Yum. Mm-hmm. Yum did their big downsize that year, so I ended up back into a Taco Bell because I was a senior assistant manager at Taco Bell. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to stay, so I bounced around between Norton's and Kindred and Humana and did HR management, HR assistant work. And when I came out of the private sector, I was at Kindred and my boss told me, you need to fly because you are not going to make it here. Mm-hmm. Right. And I was like, well, and I was running my catering company and she was just like, you are going to point out because you have all these caterings. And I would tell them, 6 months out, I would tell them these are the caterings I have for the next 6 months. And when I left Kindred, I went to a small business. I actually went to a small family-owned business manufacturing company as their HR manager. And really, I was just brought in to fire people that had been there 20 years plus. And it was kind of sad once I figured that I was just a gopher, but I was able to realize that I could do my business full-time for myself and not have to worry about as much as I had been worrying about.
That's wonderful. Wow. Sounds like, you've always been destined for it.
I did work for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that being an entrepreneur has huge amounts of challenges, very different from just having a 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. And I really, respect and admire people that take that risk and are employing and pushing through despite this pandemic. I mean, it's amazing what business go through. So that's basically all the questions I had for the interview for you.